Are the Celtics breaking up their championship team? While the Celtics season may be over for now, they have major questions to answer this offseason in terms of their roster. Jason Tatum is probably going to be out all of next season because he had an Achilles tear. We hope he heals up soon, and hopefully he is back on the court, back the way he was. I'm sure there are some people who say maybe he can make a push at the end of next season, but he is in his prime. There is no reason to rush. They just won a championship the year before. So, they shouldn't rush him back, and he shouldn't rush back either. The new CBA and the rules and restrictions that we talk about all the time, there are a lot of restrictions placed on this team because of how much they have spent or are going to spend on everybody's salary. A player like Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, where what's kind of crazy to me is the discussion around Drew Holiday changed so quickly. It was only not even a month prior, where people are talking about Drew Holiday is still one of the best, if not the best, guard defenders in the league. Then all of a sudden, in the Knicks series, all I heard was Drew Holiday looks old, or Drew Holiday is not that guy anymore. And, he's 35, so to be fair, he is getting up there in basketball age. But at the same time, he was literally one of the best guard defenders a month prior. He didn't just stop being that in 3 weeks. Jalen Brunson is an impossible cover for basically everybody in the league, right? So I just didn't like the discussion around Drew Holiday after the series because it felt like, first of all, the loss is not on him at all. I don't think they lost because of Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday, in my opinion, played really good defense on Brunson. He was just better. He is guaranteed 3 years, I think $107 million. So I can understand why they may be looking at that, especially because at the end of his contract, he'll be 38. So I can understand why they would want to move him due to, the money aspect and him starting to get up there in age. But I think moving him because you think that at this moment he declined as a player, I don't agree with that. But because next year I think is off the books because of Jason Tatum's injury, I can understand them moving him. It's just interesting to me where he would go. Because again, I still think Drew Holiday is a top tier defender in the league. He did not lose any points from me. I still saw him as a top tier defender. It's just the length of his contract, which is going to make it more difficult for them to move him just because he does have 3 years left. And that's hard to convince teams with this new CBA to take on lengthy contracts. But if you're asking me, if 29 other teams, or maybe let's just say 25 other teams rather, if 25 other teams in the league could use Drew Holiday, the answer is yes. So Drew Holiday himself, I think, is easily movable. It's just the contract with him makes it more difficult. Porzingis is a different situation, and it's not really anybody's fault. It's just unfortunate that Porzingis has this mysterious illness that nobody can figure out. He was having trouble breathing. He could barely play, and that's scary. Not even just from a basketball standpoint, that's just scary to live like that. So I can understand why, from a team standpoint, not trying to be, mean to his health or anything like that. His health is most important. But I can understand why, from a team standpoint, they would want to move on from him because, if he literally can't breathe and he can't play more than 5 minutes, he unfortunately cannot be out there to help the team. And when he's out there, he's very good. Don't know if anybody's going to take his contract. And his contract, if I remember correctly, only has 1 year left, maybe, or maybe 2 years, but it was definitely a smaller deal than Drew Holiday's. However, I don't know if anybody's going to take his contract just because we don't know what's wrong with him health-wise. Again, to me, Drew Holiday hasn't really lost a step. So as a player, I think Drew Holiday is valuable to many teams in the league. I think if Porzingis was healthy, he'd be valuable to this team as well. That's why they wanted him. But the fact that nobody knows what his health issue is, and we saw him literally gasping for air after a couple of minutes of play, I don't know that any team is going to trade for him because they don't even know if he's going to be able to play. I think their best bet, if they really want to, lower their bill and stuff like that, would be to move Drew Holiday, because I do think he has value around the league everywhere for most teams. I think Porzingis' situation is just too complicated, that him himself, again, was valuable as a player. We saw it, but because he literally can't be out there healthy, I think that would make it much harder to move him. I know people are rumoring or saying maybe Jaylen Brown gets moved. I don't think Jaylen Brown gets moved, not this season at least. Maybe the season after when Jason Tatum comes back and they see what happens. I would be shocked if they moved him right now because Jason Tatum just got hurt and they lost to the Knicks. Like, they honestly, I think they were going to lose regardless if Jason Tatum got hurt or not. But I feel like that would be too fast to move Jaylen Brown. But we do hear the rumors that they really, really want to, cut the amount that they're spending. And Jaylen Brown does have that very large contract. So I do understand from that standpoint, he obviously is valuable to other teams around the league. So it wouldn't be extremely difficult necessarily to move him from a value standpoint. But the contract situation again with the new CBA makes everybody more difficult to move. However, I think you could find a trade for Jaylen Brown. I don't think that would be an issue. If I were the Celtics, I wouldn't move Jaylen Brown. Not yet. Like, you have to at least wait till Jason Tatum comes back or at least see how Jaylen Brown plays this season without Jason Tatum, because maybe he will show signs and, elevate himself to a way that you didn't see with Jason Tatum out there, and then maybe he becomes more valuable.